How's it going, fellow Homo sapiens and aliens tuning in from above? This is 𝐬𝐨𝐼, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about physical and psychological dependencies, trying to distinguish the two and describe the differences. And before we jump into that, I'd like to give a shout out to another drug channel called Blurry. If you haven't heard of him, make sure to go check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel in the bottom of the description or in the description somewhere. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you've already heard of him, but if not, make sure to go check him out. He uploads some banging videos, I'm telling you. If you like my videos, holy, you're gonna like his videos. Anyways, let's dive into it, shall we? There are common misconceptions between physical and psychological drug dependencies, which I'd like to try and clear up. They are closely related and can be difficult to separate, so it's understandable how people mix them up oftenly. However, there are of course some differences which will be described. Towards the end of the video, I want you to put your newly formed knowledge to the test with a question. Starting with the physical aspect, a physical dependence to a drug can be determined by the presence of withdrawal symptoms when the drug is not taken. The person depends on the drug to avoid withdrawal symptoms and to function normally. Physical dependence on a drug often follows heavy daily usage over several weeks and usually longer. Substance abuse is a very serious problem that should never be ignored. When you're physically addicted, it can manifest as both physical and psychological symptoms. These symptoms occur due to change in the brain and the central nervous system, which are a result of chronic substance abuse. Displaying physical dependence alone does not mean that you have developed a substance abuse disorder. On the other hand, psychological dependence occurs when a drug becomes central to a person's thoughts, emotions, and activities. It can be demonstrated by a strong urge to use the drug despite being fully aware of its harmful effects. When you're psychologically dependent, it usually manifests as psychological symptoms. While not all drugs are considered capable of leading to physical dependence, it is possible for most drugs to lead to psychological dependence. A key indicator of psychological dependence are cravings. Cravings are intense desire to use a substance again, even when you tell yourself that you're taking a break or that you're never going to use it again. If you try and stop your dependence or even just cut down on your substance usage, you'll experience cravings. These can be so intense that they completely take over your life and significantly reduce your ability to think straight or focus on other areas of your life, like your job, education, or relationships. Generally speaking, cravings don't last too long. However, they can be extremely upsetting and even may lead you on the road back down to a relapse. Now that we've cleared up or somewhat cleared up what each dependence means and how to distinguish them, we are going to now give you a question. So let's put that newly formed knowledge to the test. I have here two scenarios, A and B, and I'm going to read out both of them, and your task is to match them with the type of dependencies. Okay, scenario A. Joe sniffs petrol with his friends. He often goes without sniffing for a few days with no withdrawal symptoms. However, when he has not sniffed for a week or more, he can feel a strong urge to sniff, despite knowing the dangers of sniffing petrol. The urge to sniff can be very strong if he feels depressed or bored. Okay, scenario 2. Oh, B, sorry. Brodim uses about $50 worth of heroin per day in 2 to 4 injections in 4 to 12 hour intervals. When Brodim goes longer than 12 hours without using the drug, she feels extremely ill, anxious, and has very strong cravings for the drug. If you matched scenario A with psychological dependence and scenario B with physical dependence, then I'd like to congratulate you on getting it correct. So good on you, good on ya, and good on you. You could, I guess, interchange the two in some way or another, but generally speaking, since Joe didn't really experience any withdrawal symptoms, like immediately at least, you could say that he's psychologically dependent from the urges or cravings that he gets when he gets bored or after a week of not using. However, Brodom, on the other hand, is quite physically addicted to that heroin. They get extremely ill when they're not on it or they don't do it for a bit. So that's just a very strong indication of physical addiction. But you could, I guess, say that she's also psychologically addicted because she gets anxious, which is a psychological symptom that you could get from psychological addiction. So what I'm trying to say is you could be physically and psychologically addicted. And if you mixed up the two, don't stress because it they you I mean people mix them up all the time. Like you're not alone. So good on you for at least giving it a shot. And yeah, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy this one, make sure to hit that like button. And if you didn't, just hit that dislike button. I don't really care. It helps me out either way. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.